Peter, I must confess, I've always been curious, how does modern computer processing actually work at a fundamental level? I mean, what makes a CPU so incredibly fast?
Well, Stewie, it's all about transistors. You see, a CPU is made up of billions of tiny switches called transistors. They use silicon and are arranged in complex circuits to perform calculations. The real trick is how they switch on and off, which is controlled by electrical signals, tiny voltages that represent ones and zeros. The speed comes from how quickly these transistors can change states, and with modern chips, that's in the gigahertz range.
Fascinating. So these transistors, are they like the switches in a light circuit, or is it more complex?
It's more complex. Instead of just switching lights on and off, transistors act as amplifiers and switches for electrical signals. Think of it like a gate that can open or close to let current through, enabling the CPU to process data. And thanks to CMOS technology, complementary metal oxide semiconductor, they can do this with very low power consumption, which is essential for keeping everything from laptops to smartphones running efficiently.
Wait, what about the architecture? How does a CPU decide which operation to perform, and how does it stay organized?
Good question. The CPU has an architecture called the Instruction Set Architecture, or ISA. It's like a blueprint for what the processor can understand. Think of it as the language the CPU speaks. The CPU has parts like the ALU, which does arithmetic, and registers, which are tiny storage units. When you run a program, instructions are fetched from memory, decoded by the control unit, and then executed.
So when I run a game or a program, it's all these tiny steps happening super fast. And the pipelining, does that mean multiple instructions are squished together?
Exactly. Pipelining allows the CPU to work on different parts of multiple instructions simultaneously, kind of like an assembly line. So while one instruction is being decoded, another can be executed and another fetched from memory. It significantly boosts throughput, making everything run smoother. That's why modern processors can handle billions of instructions per second.
Incredible. So, in essence, every time I open an app, a whole orchestra of tiny switches and organized processes are firing away behind the scenes. I must say, Peter, I am genuinely impressed by your understanding of this.
Well, Stewie, I may be a simple guy, but I've read a lot about computers. Turns out, I've got a pretty decent brain for this tech stuff.